Let's get right into it. We are in Procreate Dreams. We're starting with 24 frames per second at a duration of 10 seconds, the HD widescreen format, and we're starting in drawing mode. Now you can go ahead and you can pick a color, and we are using the brush, the airbrushing category, soft brush. You can pick any color of your choice and choose a brush size. I'm going with 20% at this time, and we're going to be picking several colors. We're staying on the same layer, and we're going to randomly draw circles with different colors. Use colors of your choice preferably. As soon as you're satisfied, you can go into the smudge brush, and we're keeping that same soft brush from the airbrush category. You can increase your brush size and randomly just blend your colors by passing your pencil over the colors like this. Check to make sure that this is what you want, at least something like this. When you finish, press and hold on your track and fill duration. Now we're going to go ahead and add a new track above it, and we're going to put in our circles that we want to be able to move across our screen. So going into drawing mode, we're going to choose that same soft brush from the airbrush category. We're going to choose one of the colors that we use for our background. So in this case, I'll be using yellow. I will decrease my brush size to about 20%, and I will draw a circle just like this on my track. Then I will go ahead and I will fill this circle to the entire duration. I'm going to add another track, and I'm going to repeat this process by choosing all the colors that I would have used for my background. And I will fill duration as usual. So go ahead and add all the colors of the circles that you want to be moving in your bouquet by adding each circle on a different track and filling the duration of each circle. When you're finished, let's work on one circle at a time. So you're going to hide all the layers that you're not going to be using. You're going to click on the color of your choice, click on the playhead, click on filter, click on Gaussian blur, and I'm going to blur this first circle out a bit, taking it to just about 30%. Alright, and I'm now going to go to the end of the timeline. I'm just going to set that Gaussian blur at the same 30%. After that, we're going to ensure that our playhead is at 0, and we're going to move our circle outside our stage area. The next thing we're going to do is create a perform action to have the circles float across our screen. So we're going to click on our perform button, and at this time I'm adjusting the modifications by setting my motion filtering to just about 50%. Alright, so now I'm going to have the circle just float randomly, and I'm going to have my pencil just move across the screen just like this. You could do this in any random direction that you want your circle to go. Check that perform button and play this back to make sure it's floating in a nice way. Alright, so now I'm going to make some adjustments to the sizing. I'm going to click on the playhead, click on move and scale to set that first keyframe. Then when it's about 2 seconds on the timeline, I am going to reduce the size of my circle by grabbing one of the red buttons and just shrinking it a bit. And I think I did about like every 2 seconds or so. So at the 4-second mark, I enlarged the circle. So wherever the circle ended up at the 4-second mark, I just took the red button and made that circle bigger, so that when it's floating, it's changing in size. The next thing I'm going to do is play around with the opacity. So I'll have the opacity start at 100% at the beginning of the timeline. Then at about 4 seconds mark, I'm going to change its opacity to about 60%. So this is just to have some variety as the circle is moving across the screen. So there will be some points where the circle has this bright intensity of the color, and then it's going to look a bit softer. So this is to create that kind of effect. So you can randomly select and decide how much percentage you want for the effect that you are going for. So once you're satisfied with your first circle, you can go ahead and repeat this entire process for each circle, and you can play around with your opacity. You can play around with your Gaussian blur, where it comes in, where it blurs, where it softens, and so forth. You can play around with the HSB as well, which is the hue, saturation, and brightness. Maybe you can have one of the circles start off at one color, and then as it's changing, it's turning into different colors. So yeah, have fun, play around with it, and this is your creation, so you can do you. Alright, so now I'm going to create like a star effect, just add a little pop. So I'm going to add a new track, then I'm going to choose the flare brush from the luminance category at a size of 4%, color white, and I'm going to randomly just dot on the timeline at different points and on the screen at different points. Just place a dot, one little dot, and then I'm going to go back to the very first dot, and I'm going to animate this by clicking on the playhead, clicking on the move and scale, and the first thing I'm going to do is enlarge and decrease it. So I'm going to go into the perform mode, enlarging it and decrease it, go back to the start, staying in the perform mode, and then I'm going to rotate it, clicking on one of the red buttons, clicking on that white little bracket there, and create a rotation. And I'm going to do this for each white dot that I've placed on my timeline, just to have the star like just popping in and out as the bokeh is happening. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have learned anything, be sure to click like, and if you have already subscribed, thank you. If you have not yet subscribed, be sure to do so that you will not miss out on any of our other videos. And be sure to check out all our other tutorials if you have not already done so. So thank you once again. See you in the next video.